Coming up next, I'll tell you some major companies who are hiring over 200,000 people in the weeks ahead. I'll tell you how to handle the storms of life. We'll take your calls and your chats. It all starts right now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville. And you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. In other words, it's all about you. Why? Because you were created to fill a unique role in your work, a contribution. So that means you are incredibly valuable and needed. But that also means you must do it. And so we continue day after day a conversation about purpose, matching your personal vision to, your personal mission to your professional vision. How do you make that unique contribution to the world? Now, we're also talking about the fact that, hey, we may have to press pause on that big purpose and that big dream. Doesn't mean that it goes away. It hasn't evaporated. It's not gone forever. We may have to press pause in the midst of the coronavirus. However, what I just said is still true. You matter. The world needs you to be you. Somebody out there is waiting on that. And so we're going to help you. We're going to continue to bring you clarity so that you can have confidence and the courage to stay the course, even in the storms. More on that a little bit later in the program. So, hey, there is some good news that will help many of you in the short term. Your short-term priorities are, I've got to just take care of my basics, my mortgage or rent. I've got to take care of utilities. I got to take care of food, and I got to take care of transportation. At the end of the day, there's a lot of grace right now and a lot of help coming your way. So even if you've lost your job, here are a few major companies, and this is just a small representation. But we'll go over this from CNN, Walmart, Dollar Tree, 7-Eleven, Amazon, all major companies hiring a lot of temporary part-time workers, which can really help you in this season. We need income. That's what some of you are saying. Here's how you can do it. You got to swallow your pride. This is not about your career. This isn't about your personal brand. This is about priorities. I'm going to run through these really quick. Here we go. Walmart, 150,000 temporary workers going to be hired before the end of May. Family Dollar and Dollar Tree, those two companies owned by the same parent company, going to be hiring 25,000 full and part-time workers. 7-Eleven, you're going to bring on 20,000 new store employees. I'm mentioning some of these bigger names to help you understand that it's bigger than just those big names. These industries, so think of these sectors, are not being hurt by this economy. They are actually making more. People are buying in bulk, panic buying, things like this. So these smaller retail venues like a 7-Eleven, like Dollar Tree, people contracting their budget even more. So this is giving you ideas of where you can go just to get some work. Amazon adding 100,000 new full-time and part-time positions. Domino's looking to hire up to 10,000 workers. Let me tell you something. Americans love their pizza. Madison, the associate producer, was just telling me that there's a local company that's now doing margarita deliveries. All right, pace yourself. Well, we don't want to drink too much, but if you need to medicate a little bit, I don't think anybody's going to judge you too much. So, I mean, people are pivoting, you know? So if you're in the delivery business, I got to tell you, is there a more valued delivery person in America than the guy or the gal who's bringing margaritas? Hello? 5 margaritas, no salt on the rocks? Yes, I'm here. Talk about feeling valuable. That will do it. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. We're going to get to the chat room in a few moments. If I can actually pull up the screen here, we'll try that. But first, we go to Eagle Mountain, Utah, where Caitlin joins us. Caitlin, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
Well, Caitlin, I'm still living the dream. Would you believe that?
I would. I wish I could be living the dream right now.
Well, hey. It's all about what is the dream? How do I get there? You're going to take some steps. You're going to get there, I promise. So how can I help today?
So ever since I graduated high school, I've just been hopping around from job to job and not really been super satisfied with anything. And I've just been feeling stuck and wondering what I should do.
Okay. Well, how long have you been listening to the show, and do you know the 3 major indicators that I walk through with folks? What you do best, those are your hard skills and soft skills. What you love to do most, this is work that gives you high emotion and high levels of devotion. And then third, what are the results that matter most to you? Do you want to help people? How do you want to help them? Who are the people you want to help? What are the problems you want to solve? Have you heard me walk people through that?
Yes, I have.
All right, so you got some answers for me?
Kind of. I was thinking through some things, but I couldn't really come up with anything.
Oh, come on now, Caitlin. Now listen. Okay, you're here now, so I'm going to dive in here. Do you experience a lot of self-doubt? Have you been somebody that has dealt with a lot of doubt for a long time, or is this a new thing?
Oh, yeah, I've dealt with it for a long time.
Why?
Just mostly the jobs that I've worked in, I've never really been encouraged and told me, that I can do better. Or
does that go further back than just the jobs?
In high school, too.
Yep. What is it? Tell me the source of this. I want to know what has made you feel not valuable, because that's what you're really dealing with. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right.
Well, then what's we need to get to this. Where is it? Is this an experience? Is it a group of people? Is it somebody in your life? You don't have to bury your entire soul here. Whatever you're comfortable sharing, but I want you to identify right now what has caused you to feel like you don't have anything to offer, that you can't even come up with a whole lot of answers for what you do best and what you love to do most and the things that matter to you. What's caused that?
Well, so I played softball my whole life.
Yeah.
And I always felt like I was a pretty good player.
Yeah.
But for some reason I always got set on the bench, and other people who were more favorited by the coaches were more likely to play than me.
Yeah. Yeah. That stinks. Because you know you were good. You know you were good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. Favoritism is a real thing. There's no question about that. Are you more of a quiet, stay-to-yourself person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time I won't speak up if I'm
you won't fight for yourself.
Wrongly.
Yeah. You won't go to the coach and go, "Coach, what do I got to do to play?" Right? That's not you.
Yeah.
All right, now listen. I don't ask you that question to make you feel like that's your fault too, because it's not. But what I'm telling you is you were put in a situation that your natural personality doesn't do well in. That's not your fault. But as a result of you not advocating for yourself, it kind of furthered that experience into more of a negative cycle. And it's like you were kind of spinning downward into, maybe I'm not as good as those girls. But the fact of the matter is, as we talk about it right now, you were better, weren't you?
Yeah, I would like to think so.
No, come on. I mean, let's be honest. They're not on the phone right now. We're not going to name any names. Were you better than them or not? Did you know it in your gut?
Yes.
Yeah. So what did it make you feel like?
Sorry, say that one more time.
What did it make you feel like? What did that experience make you feel like?
Kind of like garbage.
Yeah.
Knowing that I was better and yet was stuck on the bench.
Yeah. So I want you to understand, I wanted to spend a moment on that because I want you to understand that's affecting you right now when I say to you, what are your answers to what do you do really well? There's a voice that has been inside your head for years. And it has come back up in all those jobs that you've popped in and out of since college, which has told you you're just a bench warmer. And that's clouding who you really are. So now let's dive into that because that's garbage. You aren't garbage. The voice that's saying that Caitlin doesn't have something special to offer to this world, that's the garbage. Would you agree with me, Caitlin?
Yes, I do.
All right. Now let's go. And I want you, for maybe the first time in a long time, Caitlin, to believe in yourself as much as I believe in you right now. Now, I want you to tell me.
I will do that.
All right, good. Here we go. Caitlin, What have you always done well? People have complimented you on it. It has been easy for you. You see other people struggle. What are the skills that you have? What are the personality and character traits that you have that you know if you rank all the things you do well, Caitlin, and I interviewed everybody that knows you, they'd go, Caitlin's right about that. That's what she's really strong at. That's a personality quality. This is an ability that she has. What are at the top of your list? Go.
Following a plan.
Love it. Execution. The world is literally sitting on the shoulders of people who are like you, Caitlin, who can follow a plan and get it done. Do you understand how valuable that is?
I don't.
Okay, well, you need to. I just told you. You can have a bunch of idea people like Ken Coleman, but you need the Joe Hankins and the Madison Browders to get stuff done. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
There's no Ken Coleman Show without those two sitting behind the glass right now. I can't do what they do. I don't think the way they think. All right, let's keep going. What else besides execution?
I'm a quick learner.
Quick learner. I love it. What else?
I'm good at baking.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll throw that in there. What else? What makes you good at baking?
I just like the smiles on people's faces when they taste what I bake.
Yeah, but what makes you good at making something good? Because again, if I try to cook or bake something, the same thing that you do, I bet mine doesn't taste as good as yours. So what makes you good at it?
Because I really try to follow the recipe and I add a little of my own touch to things.
Oh, a little creativity in there, right?
Yeah.
You good at solving problems?
Not really.
Okay, so it's more just execution. Give me the plan, and I'm going to make sure it gets done, and it's going to be done well. Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right, great. Now, let's talk about what you love to do. You're going to see, by the way, a tie here. You're going to see a connection. So tell me the type of work that make you feel excited when you think about it, and when you're in the middle of it, time seems to disappear. What would that be?
I actually coached softball a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed that a lot.
Tell me why.
Because just taking a girl that didn't know how to play in the beginning and just seeing her being able to hit home runs by the end of the season.
Yeah. That feels good. I just wonder if you're not supposed to be a softball coach and some type of a teacher and / coach, because you're a person who follows a plan. And a teacher and a coach has got to have a plan, got to have a lesson plan, got to have a plan for practice, got to have a game plan, got to have a couple contingencies late in the inning when one of the girls not throwing strikes anymore. Got to have a plan, got to execute on the plan. You're a quick learner. How well do you connect with people? Even though you're an introvert and stay to yourself, are you when somebody gets to know you and you get to know them, do you connect well one-on-one?
Yes, I do.
How important is that to be a good coach?
I think it's pretty important.
Yeah. All right.
So we've got to know where you're coming from.
So this is interesting. I'm jumping ahead a little bit because we spent more time than I normally do with a caller, but I can't. It's my show. Because Caitlin, you overcoming the voice of doubt is about as important as anything that we will discuss today. And so I'm just curious. Let's do the fun question I do with a lot of callers. Knowing what we know now, what would you do tomorrow if you knew you couldn't fail? You just knew there's no chance you would fail and you would absolutely love it. What would you do?
I would probably be a travel agent.
A travel agent?
Because I love traveling.
Well, then, I didn't expect that, guys. I got to tell you, I thought I was going to hear coaching. But I will tell you, again, a travel agent, again, is all about execution. Learning what the customer wants to do, what's their budget, what are their options. I think you'd be very good at being a travel agent. While it's a curveball, and by the way, this illustrates, Caitlin, and everybody else that's listening and watching, that there's more than one job in your sweet spot. I think you'd be a really good softball coach. I really do. But I also think that if you want to be a travel agent, and that's what you want to do, that's a great gig. And I think you'd be great at it because you love traveling. And you've got all the tools to do it. And you know what else? I see something else. The reason you love baking is the reason you would love being a travel agent. The same thing that makes you excited about baking something and somebody eats it and they get really happy is the same thing that would be the case if you put a recipe of a great travel plan together for somebody in a vacation and you know that you helped make a memory for the rest of their life. That would give you tremendous joy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. All right, Caitlin. You came up with the answer, not me. You surprised me, but I think it's the right answer. When that is the test, then the answer is always something you have to listen to. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And it's be a travel agent. And here's the good news. You can figure out how to get qualified for that. And you can get connected and get that gig. Now's not the great time to run into that, but in about 2-3 months, it's going to be perfect, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So go get it. And Caitlin, will you promise me you won't allow the voice of doubt to stay in your head any longer?
Yes, I promise.
All right. Caitlin, I appreciate you. That's why I do the Ken Coleman Show. I know that was longer for you attention span junkies. I apologize, but that's what we do here. And that's what I promise I'll do for you on this show. I will take the time that I believe we need to take to help you. And I'm going to tell you something. Fear and doubt and pride are the enemies that I'm fighting. I take it really, really serious because Caitlin's got to remove the cloud of doubt to be able to see who she is. And that's important. 844-747-2577. Let's go back to the phones. Jason joins us in Winchester, Virginia. Jason, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Yes, sir. How are you today?
Jason, I'm living the dream. What's happening?
Well, I don't really hate my job, but I don't really like it either, and I'm finding myself more and more getting to the point where I'm looking forward to the weekends. I'm kind of nervous, so I've not done this before.
That's okay.
So.
Hey, I'm going to hang here with you. This isn't a performance, man. This is real life stuff. So I'm not judging you. I'm here trying to help you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So what are we looking at? What do you want to do? Where are you looking? What's the big question you have for me?
Well, I have come up with some ideas for different things as far as, like, I guess you could call them inventions or problems that I found a solution for, and I built something to fix it. And getting that on the market and getting it sold is my issue, my dilemma, because of some of the patent stuff and some of the other directions.
So what are you running into right now? Are you hitting
a lot of scams?
Yes. Well, now, so this is an invention, and I don't want you to give it all away. So this is basically.
I've got 4 or 5 different things that I've come up with. Some of them I can talk about. The one I'm thinking of specifically, I don't want to get too much into.
Okay, we don't have to, because here's the other thing. I don't want to talk about 4 or 5 things. That's not a good strategy for you right now.
Just ideas.
Yeah, but my point is that you're stable right now in your income?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So this is your ultimate dream, the entrepreneurial inventor vision, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, I would focus on 1, not 4 or 5. So
Right.
Okay, good. So the one that you're most fired up about, you're running into scam things. Here's the deal. You shouldn't be even dealing with scams, because if you've got to get a patent, then you've got to go directly to the U.S. There's a patent office, and there's a lot of details there. So I don't know why you would even be flirting or tempting yourself with people. Are you talking about patent lawyers that you feel are scamming you, or are you talking about companies that are saying, we'll help you do it and streamline it?
Yeah, the second one, the companies that'll help you get. Yeah, but I don't know anything about, when it comes to production, when it comes to any of that stuff. That's where the hang up is. Making the thing I can do.
Okay, but my point is you make it. So forget about production and manufacturing. To actually get the patent, do you have to have a big line of production and manufacturing all figured out? I don't think you do you?
No, but it's expensive.
Right, I get that. But first steps are first. What's the first step? You tell me. I haven't tried to invent anything, but as I understand it, your first step is actually getting the patent before we actually launch the product, right?
From my understanding, it's actually, I could be wrong, but building the prototype and making sure it's working, and then once you get to that point, you can worry about a patent.
Well, that's my point. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm assuming you've already built it, because you said a moment ago building the thing's not the problem. So I was saying the next step, since you know how to build it, that's not a challenge. You didn't call me about that. So I'm trying to help you think through. The next step would be to show them the prototype, prove that it works, and now we want to get a patent. That would be the next step, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
All right. So then once we get the patent, then we begin to test it in the marketplace, right? We don't launch this massive initiative. We don't go manufacture 500,000. We manufacture 10, and maybe we just put it out. We try to test it with potential customers, right? Let them sample the product. That's where I would go if I was in your shoes. So here's where we're at with the patent. Running into the patent thing and it being expensive, you need to be your own student. I wouldn't pay a lawyer right now. I would do your own homework on what is required for you to get the patent. And after you do your own deep research, then if you still have some questions, write those questions down. And then it would be worth engaging with a real, legitimate lawyer who works with people on this very thing. They know the law and the regulations inside and out. So those are your costs. So you do your own research and go, okay, this is what I think it's going to cost, if I understand that right. But I'm going to go get a legitimate patent lawyer to verify what I am understanding, and then tell me what I don't understand, and then help me see the total cost. So you're going to have a cost for a lawyer, and you can find out what that is, and you save up for that. So it may take a little bit of time, but that's the journey. And so that's where you've got to be going. If that's what you're asking me, that's what you got to be doing. And then I would, again, encourage you, and again, I can't ask you specifically because I don't want to reveal anything, but you know who your ideal customer is, correct?
Yeah.
Then the next step would be doing research with a manufacturer, pending patent. How much would it cost? You know, once you get the patent, you protect yourself all this whole time, and a lawyer will help you with protecting the product. But once you get the patent and you got the protections in place, the NDAs, and you got all that stuff to arm yourself so that if somebody steals it, you can crush them. Okay. Then you go, hey, with a manufacturer, you go, hey, I just need to do a couple spec models, and what's that going to cost me? And so then we take those models. I'm calling them a model because I don't know what this thing is. And so then you take that to your ideal customer and you go, listen, before I launch this business, I'm all ready to go. I got the patent, but I want you to test this. And how can we enter into an engagement where you get to test it? And I love that approach because, Jason, that allows you to have that ideal customer get to try your product for free. And to me, that's worth the investment because then you're going to get real feedback. And that means that iteration number 2 may be the game changer, but you've gotten real people who you will eventually sell this thing to. You've got their feedback. I am just such a fan for the inventor and the entrepreneur to test, and then test.
Yeah.
You know? So, Jason, this is a journey. I can't tell you how long it is, but you got to have the mindset that this may be multiple years, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it, isn't it?
Absolutely. But this one will, yeah.
All right, my man. Hey, focus on the one. And when you do that successfully, then you can get to 2, 3, 4, and 5. But I'm proud of you. But that's the direction. There's no need to be intimidated by this process. You're not the only person to ever do this. The help is out there. 844-747-2577. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get a chat question here, and I'm going to come back to Jennifer in Los Angeles. And then I'm going to close today's show out. I'm going to flip the order a little bit. I'm going to teach on what I said at the top of the program. How do you handle the storms of life? All right. So stay with me. We're going to get back to the phones. Let's go low. I'm in a job I thought would be great. Instead, I'm stuck at a desk 12 hours a day with no breaks. Yuck. They say take breaks if we do everything. That doesn't make sense. They say take breaks, but they say take breaks, but if we do everything and it goes haywire, it creates more work and more stress. I'm dreading work. What should I do? I need the job, and this pays more than any job in my area with my skills. Okay, so this is pretty simple stuff, Lolo. Here's the deal. Obviously, we're in this turbulent job market right now, a lot of uncertainty there. So unless you can find something right now or in the days and weeks ahead that pays you the same amount of money, then you're just going to have to toughen up. And I know this isn't fun. I know you can't stand it. You're dreading it. But you have got to know that you can overcome this. This is temporary. You're not going to do this for 30 years. You're not even going to do this for multiple years. I'm hoping that you can get out of this job in 5 to 6 months. But again, you need it. So you're in a financial situation where you need this. So you better change your mindset from I'm dreading it to this is really hard, stinking work. And it is not fun. But boy, am I thankful that it is paying my bills and taking care of me. That's the first thought. The second thing is, where can I cut, and stash? Where can I cut right now? Because I got to get out of this place. But I can't get out of this place right away until I find something that pays me the same amount of money. So I'm going to have to save. That's what I mean by stash. So cut, stash. So your mindset has to change. I know it's not fun. It's not going to be fun, but you better figure out a way beyond being grateful and understanding that this is temporary to psych yourself up. Those two ought to be able to handle. You ought to go in there and go, listen, this is what I have to do right now. So what else do I need to do? By cutting in my budget, selling stuff. If I got to move, anything I can to lower my expenses. So for a short term, while I'm stuck in this situation, I'm actually not stuck. I'm building. Big difference. You think you're stuck. I think you got to change your mindset to, I'm going to use this to build. And I'm going to stash money and I'm going to prepare so that I can walk away from this and find something that's way more enjoyable. Okay? That's the mindset right now. That's what you got to do. 844-747-2577 is the number. We go now to Los Angeles where Jennifer joins us. Jennifer, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm in a unique situation for me. I work full-time for this local school district. I'm a full-time student pursuing a degree in accounting. My long-time goal is to become a CPA and I also have some bookkeeping businesses on the side. I'm wanting to leave the school district and pursue the bookkeeping aspect to build my business. But I have all three items pulling me at the same time. And I don't know how to set my priorities to where I can transition from the school into getting more bookkeeping clients, if that makes any sense.
It makes sense, but let's just actually break this down. So if you want me to help you prioritize, I need to get an idea of your schedule, how these things are pulling you, because the reality is you need that teaching job right now. That's the day job. And then the bookkeeping is the side job, which eventually becomes a part of the dream job as you're going to school. So you've got X amount of hours during the week. You have to work in the school job, correct?
Correct. And I'm not a teacher. I process payroll. I'm an admin support position.
All right. So my point is, though, is you have X amount of hours that you are working in the day job. Okay.
Correct.
Then you have X amount of hours a week you're spending in school. Those are the two non-negotiables right now. Am I correct?
Correct.
So ballpark, and you don't have to know this like perfectly, but this is the exercise. If I was sitting with you right now at your kitchen table, this is what we'd be doing. All right. And I'd say, based on your job, your day job, based on the accounting degree that you're getting right now or that you're pursuing, and so the hours that include class time and study time, and then you got a personal life, yes?
Yes.
Okay. What are your roles in your personal life? Wife, mom?
Wife, no kids.
Great.
Just wife.
That's actually great news right now, right? Right. I love those munchkins, but they take up a lot of time. So now it's just hubs, okay? So now, based on relationship, education, and day job, that's a block of your week. And then we got sleep.
Sure.
I didn't mention sleep, all right, which is important. So now, how many hours do you think you could give towards doing bookkeeping?
So I know I'm supposed to commit 40 hours to the day job at the school.
Right.
But the work is flexible. I can do that at night if needed.
Okay, great.
Studying, and I'm going to school online. So again, my study habits can be flexible. I have deadlines that are on Sunday.
Great.
So that the work can become flexible.
Good.
I can probably commit at least 2-3 hours a day to bookkeeping.
That's pretty good.
But again, my mind is all over the place, especially with what's going on right now.
Well, okay, that's a different subject. You didn't say that. You said, Ken, I've got all these things pulling at me, and so I thought you needed help with prioritization. Now I feel like your mind's all over the place with all the stuff that's going on. That's a different deal. Is that fear? Is that anxiety? What are we talking about?
a combination of both.
What are you afraid of?
Just to give you a back note, 2003, I was diagnosed with Asperger's, with a high functioning form of autism.
Okay.
And so that's like an underlying thing that will always be there. But my fear is, what happens if I don't really like the day job. I really want to get out because of some external situations I really can't get into over
I got you. Yeah. I got you.
But my thing is, what happens if I'm stuck at the day job and in a situation I don't like and I have nothing to fall back on?
Well, I just don't think that's true. I think that may be the case right now, but I think that you're a really strong person. I mean, dealing with the Asperger's and doing all the things that you're doing, I just can't tell you how much I admire you. I really can't. I mean, you're so strong. You've got this. You can put up with whatever unless you're being physically or verbally abused or it's some, crazy situation, I would put up with the somewhat awkwardness of whatever's going on. I know you can't get into it, but you don't fear for your safety, correct?
Correct.
All right. So outside of that, the fact that you're such a high functioning person with the differently abled situation you're dealing with, which makes you brilliant in certain ways, I just think that you can put up with this a little bit longer until you can get a full-time bookkeeping. I wonder if the next step is not you doing bookkeeping on the side. I wonder if you don't just try to transition right into a full-time bookkeeping job. You don't have to have the accounting degree to do that, I don't think. Do you?
No, for bookkeeping, no. And for CPA level, yes, but not for bookkeeping.
Right, but you're taking steps to get the CPA. So you're already on that path, and bravo to you. I just wonder I think there's two options. Let me just lay it out. You either put up with the awkwardness or some of the tension or whatever you're dealing with in the school job until you build up the bookkeeping job on the side till you go, okay, I can replace my income with the bookkeeping job if I were to give it full time. Okay, that's one option. That's going to take longer. Okay. The other option is you start looking right now. You've got bookkeeping skills, and I believe you could get hired with your current experience, don't you?
Yes.
Then I would be looking for a full-time bookkeeping job with an accountant firm, which, by the way, they get you in the door and they go, man, we love Jennifer. She's a rock star. She's getting her degree. Maybe you move up as a CPA with them down the road, but who cares? And so I think you have plenty of options, but I guess what I want you to hear is you're worrying about something I don't think you need to worry about, because the reality is there's going to be a lot of small businesses, a lot of people that need bookkeeping services in the days ahead. And I think you stay with it right now in the school system until you can build up that bookkeeping service. Because you told me 2 to 3 hours a day. Let's just say it's 2 hours a day. That's 10 hours a week. And you start billing and you start doing a good job, you could find multiple bookkeeping jobs. And if you and your hub sit down and talk and go, could we live off of what he makes plus you part-time bookkeeping? Could you do that? That's a third option.
Right now, no.
Okay. So my point is, you got to do what you got to do. And I know you can do it. Can't you, Jennifer?
Yes, I can.
All right. You got it? You feel good?
Thank you. I guess I need that little swift kick in the rear to get going.
I know. Listen, you got this. I'm not worried about you for a second. Build the bookkeeping business on the side. Build it. And do both, by the way. Build it on the side right now. Start today. And then the second thing is I want you to start looking for a full-time bookkeeping job. That'd be awesome.
Right.
And then tell the school, I'm out. Sayonara. I'm out of here. Hasta la vista. Okay? That's what I would do. So you've got this, Jennifer. Appreciate you calling. You're brave and you're amazing. And I love her story. All right. I'm going to take just a few minutes to wrap today's show because we did our message of hope last night. Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, and myself. If you did not see it, we have made it available to you. DaveRamsey.com. It was a live video streamed event. It's on Dave's Facebook page. It's on my Facebook page. It's on Rachel's Facebook page. It's on YouTube. DaveRamsey.com Hope. I believe it's DaveRamsey.com/Hope. Thank you, Joe. DaveRamsey.com/Hope. It is also posted there as well. And so you can watch this. But anyway, last night I was finishing my remarks about the uncertainty of this time. Because if so many of you are dealing with a lot of crazy stuff and scary stuff, and while it's temporary, it's still very, very real, and there's no question about it. And I was wrapping my remarks, Joe, and Joe's been with me for how many years? How many years have we been together? It's 7 or 8. And so Joe's heard me do this story 100,000 times. Back in the old days, the Ken Coleman Show. You remember that? So I'm wrapping my remarks last night, Joe, and I didn't plan to say it. And I said, I'll tell you what, folks, I'm going to close with a story from nature that I think is the perfect illustration and metaphor for how do we handle the storms of life. And by the way, this isn't just for the coronavirus and your job loss or potential job loss or money issues. This is anything, any storm coming at you. So I believe cows and buffaloes are related. I didn't verify that last night, Nathan, but I think they are. I think they're in the same basic family, right? And both the cow and the buffalo handle storms, actual storms, differently. Now, think about this. Both of these animals are outside, one on the plains, one in a pasture, right? But they handle storms very differently. The cow, when they see a storm coming and it comes up on them quickly and it's coming at them, the cow does what I think most humans do and what we all do instinctively when something is threatening us, a storm, a problem's coming at us. What do? We run away. We run away from it. And so here's what the cow does. The cow sees the storm coming this way, and the cow begins to run away. But the storm, many times, overtakes them. But the cow's still running away from the storm. And because the storm is caught up to them, and now they're running at the pace of the storm, what happens is the cow spends way more time in the storm than they should, or that they need to. But the buffalo, they see the storm coming on the plain. Okay? Watch this. This is beautiful. They see the storm coming at them. It's coming in. They're looking at that storm. You know what they do? They turn and look at the storm and they go, head down into the storm. Storm's coming this way. Buffalo going into the storm. What happens? Watch. You see it. And so the amount of time they spend in the storm is way less than the cow. Why? Because they charge the storm. They charge it. All right. Hey, the storm's inevitable. The cow runs from it. The storm's coming. I got to run. And they spend all this time fleeing from the storm, and they spend way more time in the storm than they need to. Buffalo sees the storm and says, all right, it's coming. Let's get it on. Let's go. All right. I'm going to charge through this. Hey, the pain is coming. The pain, the difficult circumstances, they're coming. They're certain. So I'm going to rush through them and charge through them. Same idea of the Band-Aid. Ripping the Band-Aid off. Don't pull the Band-Aid off slowly. Rip it off. And so I want you to be encouraged by that, to be a buffalo in these times. Because we all have storms coming at us right now. Handle it. Realize that this storm is just that. It's temporary. So the best way to handle the storm is to acknowledge that it's there, acknowledge that it's going to be painful and difficult, but that if I charge the storm, I'm going to get through the storm much quicker. I believe that the buffalo have got something on the cow. I think they figured it out. Be a buffalo today. My time is almost up, but I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. I promise. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.